Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, we're in a rush, rush, rush. When are we not? I'm going to be doing a reading for you guys right now. Okay, let me put all my stuffs away. Before I start, while I get my cards ready, I want to remind you guys I do have workshops coming up. If you would like to learn about how I work energy and, my day job, go check out k33academy.com/store. That's my online academy where I teach tons of amazing things. Oopsie. And you can go check that out. Okay. So I asked what this reading was going to be about, and what I heard is every decision is leading to your freedom. Ooh. So something's happening. Okay. Something is happening. We are there are decisions. Okay. There's changes that are being loaded. These are probably very difficult, right? These are probably decisions that would cause you to question, would cause you to feel kind of nervous about how to move forward through this. Don't worry. Don't worry. You're going to move through it. Regardless, you're going to move through it. So just go with the flow. Just go with the flow. Go with the flow. Okay. Let's see what the details are of this. Okay. And I got to try and be efficient as possible. Efficient as possible. I got to keep reminding myself, be efficient as possible. Have you guys noticed time seems extra short? Thank you guys for the belated wishes. Thank you. Sorry I was not live yesterday. I figured I'd take a real day off. Yeah, I don't get days off. I choose not to. Days where I'm supposed to be off, I'm off doing other work. Anyone who knows me knows this. Okay. So yesterday was amazing. Ooh, just to share really quick. My husband took me to a nursery because he said he wanted to get me whatever plants I want. Wrong decision, baby boo. So he takes me to this nursery, which was adorable. It was just adorable. It was absolutely an adorable nursery. And we go in the greenhouse because there's been snow. Pretty much everything outdoors is dead or dormant. So we go in the greenhouse, and obviously my ADHD kicks in. I'm distracted by everything, every possible green thing or living thing. I was distracted. And I'm just like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And then I saw the thing that I wanted. I saw the thing that I wanted, and it was huge. Like you would need a forklift to pick it up. To pick it up. The leaf was like from my head to my belly button. It was a huge leaf, and the plant itself, my husband went to go look. I already knew what it was going to be, some ridiculous price. It was $1,500. Because your girl is simple and bougie all at the same time. That's what I wanted. And I was like, you know what? Let me not be ridiculous. Because first off, that's not even going to fit in our truck because it's not. And secondly, how am I going to move that every year? Because my soul has me moving at least once a year. So I was like, let me look for something small, something that won't get damaged when it's time to move. So we're looking around more, and I see the cutest little plant. It's about like this big. It was a 4-inch Monstera Thai, which ugh, that thing was shy of $300. I was like, how about we do what I normally do, which is go to the grocery store and just like start rescuing all the dying things. That's what I would rather do that than spend ridiculous money on one tiny ass plant. I didn't get it. Are you kidding me? I didn't get that. I was just like, no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So what we did, he took me to several grocery stores, and it's weird because none of them had anything dying. I literally love to adopt all the dying plants at the grocery store. I bring them back to life. Like these two up here, these that was actually one plant that was, it literally looked dead. My husband was like, "That's dead. We're not buying that." And I was like, "Yes, I am. It's $2. I don't care what you say." And now it's like 4 plants. There's another 2 of these. Yeah. So I love doing that. So there was none at the grocery store because there was nothing dying. I think they all threw them all away already, unfortunately. Um, I believe it is asparagus fern. I'm not sure. But I love it. I love it. They're like bushy and just crazy. They're like all over the stairs and dangling. I think the longest tendril is, I don't know, like 6 feet at this point. I didn't know how I'm going to move that mofo from his place. He's wrapped all around the stairs. I'm just like, you couldn't just grow nice and neat. No, he couldn't. But I did get a whole bunch of plants. We ended up going to Home Depot. And I got a shit ton of plants for less than the cost of one plant. So I'm happy. I'm happy. There's more shit to move, but you should have never offered to buy me plants. You know I was gonna go crazy. I got a whole bunch. Big ass bushy indoor plants. I love plants so much. So, okay, let's look. Every decision is leading to your freedom. Freedom from what? I'm not sure. Um it feels like you're in a space of almost like oppression, right? Like someone has been oppressing you. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's this thing of you're so accustomed to, you know, catering to other people that you've forgotten how to address your own needs. And so it's become almost like a sense of being imprisoned, stuck in the space that you're in. You're going to be given guidance as to how to exit the womb. This process that you're in is really about the process of you relearning who you are, reforming who you are. And so it's like you're in a womb. This is your second opportunity at creating a life that makes you happy, A lot of people have an awesome life, but they still are like awesome from the outside looking in, right? But they still need a vacation from it. Like, so then your life is not awesome. Like, do you need a vacation from your vacation? No. No, you don't need a vacation from a vacation, right? So you should be living in such a way where every day feels like it's a freaking vacation, like it's a celebration. Not necessarily easy, not necessarily free of struggle or anything like that, but a life where you can allow yourself to enjoy every day, to find something to enjoy every day, right? Because for many of us, not only have we allowed ourselves to become so complacent in our dissatisfaction with life, We've also allowed ourselves to become very, very embittered in such a quiet way. Like, just because your bitterness is quiet doesn't make it any less bitter than what it actually is. You're aware of that, right? You're aware that there's going to come a time where that bitterness is going to come forward, it's going to rise to the top, and it's going to cause you to feel as though you've betrayed yourself. This is the point where, your awareness of the process that you're in, it can gift you the opportunity to begin releasing some of that bitterness of how things have gone. And it's not necessarily a bad thing to be upset, but it is a bad thing to ignore those emotions to the degree that it becomes um soured, right? And you don't know what to do with it. Just saying. You're protected in your process, but your process requires you to remember things that cause you to feel as though you were dying inside. And as that's happened, as you've been made to feel as though the situation was absolutely just causing you to die inside, it creates fear, it creates avoidance, it creates a depletion in your sense of your magical nature, it causes a sense of instability. But here's the thing, you can't hide from yourself any further. If you allow yourself to really take a good hard look at the things that need to be addressed, well, you stand a greater chance of experiencing fulfillment. You stand a greater chance of living through the things that you're needing to live through in such a way that causes it to feel like summertime, like you're in a field of sunflowers, the warmth of it, being surrounded by people who bring brightness and light into your life. I mean, life doesn't have to feel as obligatory and dark as it does. It doesn't have to feel that way. If you carry the energy of something negative, then that's the lens with which you will use to view the rest of the experience. Oh, you're not ready for this petty. That's what it said. Are you being petty? That doesn't make you a bad person. That doesn't make you less evolved. That just means there are parts of you that you have continued to choose not to recognize, not to acknowledge, not to help heal. At some point, you're going to have to address those things. If you don't address those things, the pettiness will turn into rage, and that righteous rage will burn everything down. When you do a controlled burn, it creates a lot of opportunity for growth. It clears away the underbrush. All of that burn eventually gets reincorporated into the soil, enriching the soil, returning a lot of the nutrients that the soil was depleted of. It could be a healthy thing, but it's also a very destructive thing. Notice how I said controlled burn rather than inferno, right? So you have to be aware of the process that you're in, because if you're not, what could serve as a controlled burn absolutely can become a full on inferno. And if you're going to allow that process to become that destructive, mm, it's not going to be good for you. It's not going to feel good for you. Let me correct myself. It's not going to feel good for you. It's still going to be good for you because it's clearing away the things that need to be cleared away. Correct? Correct. But if you don't understand those are things that need to be cleared away, you're going to become even more bitter. Why do we hold on to the things that need to be cleared? Because we're afraid to let go. Why are we afraid to let go? Because we don't know what will be placed in our hands once our hands are empty. What if what's placed in your hands to replace what you let go of? What if what you're given is the very thing you've craved this entire time? What if? What if that's what you needed? to have the unnecessary cleared from your life so that you have space to receive the very thing you've dreamt of for so long, the thing that you banished, the thing that you pushed away just because you were afraid of what that could possibly mean. I don't know. I don't know. This reading is making me feel some kind of way. I don't think it's my emotions either. I think it's someone else's emotions. I don't know who I'm feeling, but it's making me feel some kind of way. It's a reflection of someone else's emotions. Shadow, scrying mirror. Um, are you simply reflecting the self-doubt within someone else's shadow aspects? Are you not allowing yourself to recognize the gravity of what you're about to go through? Every decision is leading to your freedom. I'm assuming at this point it's your freedom from your own limitations, your freedom from the gilded mental cage you created for yourself, where your rationalizations, your um, validations, even some of your mantras might be causing you to remain very, very limited in your perception of the scope of what you can handle, right? Some mantras, although they sound good, really just it further um there's a lot of thoughts. These are not mine. It's a lot of like really fast racing type thoughts. Who is this? It's a lot. It's a lot. If you can think this quickly and this intensely about the negativity, imagine what you could do with your life if you shift it and think about the potentialities, the positivity, and how to achieve those potentials, how to acquire um, the types of connections, the types of opportunities that will serve your growth. I mean, for every negative thing, every negative trait, characteristic that you have, you can actually turn that into something extremely powerful, something that can take you to a whole nother level of where you need to be, right? For example, one of my most readily witnessed characteristics is my stubbornness. Hello, my name is Stubborina. Hello, my name is Stubborina. But here's the thing, that stubbornness is the very reason I did not fold, I did not cave when the people came to destroy me. It was that very stubbornness that caused me to continue to push forward and be like, oh, you want me to fall? Fuck you. Oh, you want me to fail? Fuck you too. Oh, you want to hurt me? Fuck you double time. Right? It depends on how you use it. It's a characteristic. That's it. Characteristics are nothing but components of you. The way in which you use these components is what colors it with negativity or positivity, beneficial or malignant, right? So start using your characteristics in the way that they are designed to be used. It's not that hard. You make it hard by convincing yourself you have to do more than simply be who you are and allow the truth of you to come forward. Is it hard to be a good person? No, I am a good person. Is it hard to overlook other people's shortcomings and faults and whatever else you want to? No, it's not, because I see what people struggle through and I see how it's a reflection of certain aspects of myself. So now I'm not so busy looking at how someone else is flawed. I'm looking at someone else as though they are a beautiful mirror and a way for me to see the ways in which I need to further cultivate the type of internal peace that will bring that aspect of me back home to me so that it's not a hindrance. Think of it in these terms. You have like an 8-month-old baby. Those are rather large. At least mine were. You have an eight-month-old. That's usually that type of age. They're not yet walking. Usually, we're not going to factor in the COVID babies. Those are the COVID babies are a whole different species. But usually an 8-month-old is a considerable weight. They're usually, 20 pounds, 20 something pounds. They cannot walk on their own yet. So you kind of have to carry them around. Um, and so now it's this visual of you carrying around, let's say, let's make it a hefty baby. My babies were hefty. Let's say it's a 25-pound sack of baby. You know how hard that is to carry for a prolonged period? If you carry them on your hip like this, what ends up happening is you have to toot your hip out. That hurts your back. That hurts your shoulder, between your shoulder blades. If you carry them in front of you, that hurts your lower back. So what do you do? Well, as long as you're carrying it in those ways, which is the most common ways, that weight is not a part of you. It's not integrated with you. You're not bringing that baby home. The best way to carry the baby carrier. I'm not talking about the backpack kind. I'm talking about a tribal carrier. I'm talking about the kind that is like a fabric, a Moby wrap. Chef's kisses. I can't recommend the Moby wrap enough. I wore pretty much all my children except my oldest in a Moby wrap. It's like hugging the child to you like this, very snug. Your hands are free. And because the child is attached to your chest, your center of balance is minimally affected. I could do so much stuff with the Moby wrap on. So much stuff. When you bring that component back home to your chest, to your heart space, you don't struggle with the weight of who you are. It becomes a part of you again. You have to bring all your parts home. You have to allow yourself to be who you are. Oh, I got to get going. Unconditional love, cosmic connection. Okay, these are all in reverse. The decisions you've been making thus far have put you very upside down in your life. Upside down unconditional love, upside down cosmic connections. You keep trying to put yourself in timeout, but you don't belong in timeout. You can't sit still while you're in timeout. And maybe it's your awareness that you can't sit still, and that is distorting your messages, distorting the guidance, and that's why you keep trying to put yourself in timeout. You have to allow your brain to function in the way that it does. The other day, I will share this. It upset me. It upset me. Someone reached out on behalf of another person that I hold very dear to my heart. I haven't been in touch with that person in a couple years, but I still hold them very dear in my heart. And they had gotten into something. They're in the hospital. They've been in the hospital for a couple weeks. And I was reached out to so that I could assist. It had to do with um, cranial work. That's one of my subspecialties, right? The brain is one of my subspecialties. And I had told the individual who reached out on behalf of someone I love that they would need to be present so that I can gauge, how much more energy to use and yada, yada, yada. And they were. And I started to get a weird feeling. I started to get a weird feeling of like, what is this? Do they have a phone? And they're like, no, they don't have a. Why don't they have a phone? Why are they being isolated? And I didn't want to get combative. So I was like, well, they're experiencing sundowners. And when the sun goes down, they'll get rather combative, disagreeable. They'll want to go home. If you've never been confined in a hospital before, you don't know what it's like. Give them their phone. They need to have their phone, and that way they can contact me directly via Facebook, via my phone number, and I can assist them whenever they text. I will stop what I'm doing and I will assist. I will sedate. I will remove the pain. I will work on inflammation, whatever needs to be done. And the response that I got, they have plenty of books and magazines to be preoccupied. That is not a child. That is a full grown autonomous adult, one that I happen to love. At that point, I was requested to sedate them more. Now, there's no more sedation that's necessary. Discomfort has calmed. I will wait to hear from them directly. They can message me on my Facebook. I will not answer any more of those texts. The only thing they'll get from me is, please have them message me directly. I want to speak to them directly. If you want me to continue to help, you're going to have to reestablish their phone line, and they're going to have to message me directly themselves. We're not going to play this telephone. I don't like that kind of shit. I do not like that. I do not. But out of respect for the person that I care about, I was like, okay, don't be cussing people out, girl. Don't be cussing people out. That's not okay, though. That's not okay. That is absolutely not okay to isolate someone like that when they're in a space of such vulnerability. That is not okay. But digressing back to the reason I shared that, you can't just preoccupy the mind in that way. It has to be allowed to perform the tasks that it craves, right? It has to be allowed to function in the way it's designed to function. If someone is highly cognitive, if they are people or a person who is very much go, go, go and needs to solve and needs to be connected to whatever it is, yes, they need to slow down. But no, you do not try and delegate to them how to use the way their brain functions. That's counterproductive. That creates so much more tension. That creates so much more. I'm pissed off just thinking about it. If we're gonna be honest, don't text them. I would love to. I'd be, yeah. No, don't do that. Don't do that. You don't do that. Don't do it. I struggle with things like that. I firmly believe in people's autonomy. I believe sovereignty should be respected. I believe that even though I don't agree with your decisions, that I should respect your decisions. Keep my opinions to myself unless you ask me for them. I believe you should have the freedom to have access to connect devices that will keep you connected to the people who you want to be connected with. It's not okay. It's definitely not okay. You know what's even more not okay? Let me just use this moment to vent. Knowing that I have the capacity that I have, reaching out to me because of that elevation in capacity, elevation in skill, and thinking you can lie to me without me knowing. I know when you lie to me, it makes me lose respect for you. I know when I do not have the consent of the individual. I know when you withhold what I'm asking you to tell them. And I know when you respond for them rather than getting their true, genuine response to my question. You did not ask them on my behalf. I'm not a fucking idiot. I'm no longer a bleeding heart. And that is the last time someone will be able to message me on behalf of someone else and have me actually do what they've asked me to do. Never again. Never again. But I am glad that I was able to provide some relief, some comfort, a measure of genuine love and concern for someone I hold dear, regardless of the fact that we haven't spoken in years. I'm the type of person where once I love you, it doesn't matter if we talk, it doesn't matter if we don't. The love always remains there. It always remains there. It doesn't matter if it's been 4 or 5 years since we've interacted. When the love is there, it's always there. It never goes away. Ever. Ever. So, celestial teacher, it's about time you learn about compassion for self. You don't necessarily have to have gratitude for the lessons you're learning. What you need to do is learn it so you can move to the next chapter. That next chapter is about transformation. Transforming what? The ways in which you don't communicate your needs. You have to communicate your needs, or else it gets stored in the shadow and the shadow begins to amplify the pain, right? You don't have to celebrate this process. You don't have to intuitively know that you're in a process. You do have to allow yourself to develop a level of awareness that helps you to be more compliant with your soul, not with someone else, with your soul as you go through the process. Yes. Uh-huh. Okay. So when you allow yourself to awaken your awareness, you then reduce the potentiality of self sabotage. You then become much more successful at the shadow work you have to do to retrieve your personal power that's hidden in that shadow. So, twin ray healing. There is some healing that's working right now. It is, or there is some healing going on because someone is putting some work into themselves right now. Maybe some of the things that you've been experiencing is a reflection of someone else's process. There's that potentiality. There really is. There's that potentiality. Um, maybe the thing that you wanted the most, the thing that you just really, really wanted so bad. Maybe this is a time where you might actually get that. You might actually get that. So I found another twin about a year ago. I really like this one. I do. I really like this one, and this one might actually end up being a long-term BFF. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see how that plays out. But, this is the opportunity for you to decide, make decisions in such a way that will further cement you having what it is you actually want. And it's not about having some expectations that are very rigid. It is about allowing yourself to make the decisions will lead you there. Like I had a very long conversation with this person yesterday, like long conversation. And I came to the conclusion, I was just like, yeah, no, you're going to be a part of my life for a very long time. It's a long-term connection that's being built here. And it's just, yeah, it is what it is. It's not something that scares me. It's not something that is negative. It doesn't carry any type of negativity with it. What it carries with it is a potentiality to have what I want, which is the closeness with that type of soul um, relative, I guess you could say, right? So what you want wants you back. What you want wants you back. But if what you want is unhealthy for you, what you will allow in is unhealthy for you. You have to have an awareness of the ways in which your thoughts and your um, predispositions, your preferences are the very thing that invites and hosts unhealthiness within yourself, right? You have to allow yourself to flow. As you allow yourself to flow, beautiful things can happen. But if you don't allow yourself to flow, you're going to be very unclear, and it's still going to be changes that are coming through, but because you're unclear, you're not going to feel rejuvenated because you're going to be so depleted with your constant worrying about how things are going to play out. The more you hold on to something in the same grip that you've had, the more fatigued you will become. Ooh, that's intense. Sometimes you have to change your grip. Sometimes the grip that you have is not the proper grip. And so, regardless of how tight you hold on to it, you will fatigue and you will fail. And in that failure, you will lose your grip, but you will have learned something tremendous, something powerful. And what you learn in that can be the very thing that gets you to the next place that you need to occupy within yourself. And if you apply this to relationships, right? You hold on to something so tight and your grip begins to falter. It begins to hurt in a way that just, you can't hold on anymore. It's hard. If you only changed your grip, change the way in which you hold something, maybe you could have held on with less force indefinitely. Hi, Killian. I still can't believe I was like, kill. I'm sorry, Killian. Don't mind me and my mannerisms. Okay. Oh, okay. You're being directed into a space where you will attract a repeat of an ugly cycle, a betrayal. Ooh. Oh, that triggered me. I will not betray myself anymore. I will not betray myself anymore. I will not betray myself anymore. What does that mean? That means in my refusal to betray myself, I will now begin to actively refuse to allow myself to be accessed by those who can support the process, encourage, initiate the process of me betraying myself. I'm good. I'm good off that. I will not betray myself. I will not betray myself. I will not betray myself, right? I will not betray myself. Do not betray yourself. Think about your needs. Think about how you're being made to feel regarding decisions that you need to make. Once you begin to become very, very aware, um, you need to make the decisions. You need to choose the options that respect the need you are now becoming aware of. Okay? Say it with me. I will not betray myself again. I will not betray myself again. I will not betray myself again. Every time you disregard that feeling you have that's telling you, no, this is not healthy, this person is not good for you, you are betraying yourself. You know, all those stories that I've shared without naming names, the stories of how people have done me so dirty and so wrong. Notice how I never was like I was a victim. Notice how, for the most part, I can be very neutral in the sharing of that. Is it because I've healed through it? No, it is not that at all. It's because I have a very clear understanding that I allowed it. But I'm not standing in a space of blame. I'm standing in a space of acknowledgement that if I have the power to allow that, then I have the power to choose the polar opposite. I ignored my intuition. I ignored the guidance of my soul. So what happened? I went through the events, the experiences that helps me to learn exactly what those feelings, those sensations, those intuitive hits mean. Now I know when I feel a sensation in a specific space when I'm talking to you, you are a fucking betrayer. You are a two-faced son of a bitch. I'm not going to be your friend. I'm not going to be your ally. I am going to quietly step back and be on my merry way. That's all I need to know. You might be an amazing person, but you won't be amazing to me because there is something within me that empowers the toxicity within you. So it doesn't mean you're a toxic person. It means you are toxic to me. Fuck that. I'm out. I don't need to live through that again. And it's not me like avoiding things out of fear. It's me having actually learned what those circumstances were teaching me. I'm not repeating that again. I am so good off that. I am so good off that. There are certain types of energies, certain types of frequencies, certain types of personalities, characters, where I get one whiff of that. Nope, I'm good. I'm good. That type of shit is intoxicating to the Piscean in me. You need me to be your savior? You need me to heal you? You're gonna love me forever if I do? Yeah, nope, good. I'm good. I'm so good off that. No, thank you. Been there, done that. That always ends badly for me. That's not the same as like, you've inspired me. I'm ready to make changes. That I'm like, yes, absolutely. Let's do it. Let's do it. That's not the same. Learning the nuances between the different um, lessons you've learned. You think you've been repeating the same cycle. You haven't. You've been learning a nuanced shift in each of those times you've repeated the same lesson. It's a very nuanced shift. And if you can allow yourself to understand what that nuance means, you can then become very, very powerful in the way you move through your life. I'm not saying it's impossible to hurt me. I'm not saying it's impossible and it will never happen for someone to be able to evade detection and be able to access me. No, no, no. That's no, that's not realistic. But I am saying I'm going to make it real fucking hard for people to mislead me and shit. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to be honest with myself and I'm going to listen to the honest answers that come through me. So, general rule of thumb, if you make me feel some kind of way, if you make me feel uncomfortable and I don't know why, I'm going to avoid you until I know why. I'm not going to force myself to continue to interact with you until I figure out why. No, I'm going to avoid the shit out of you until I figure out why. Is this a past life connection that was healthy and you are here to help heal me? You are here to help me in my self healing. And it makes me uncomfortable that I'm being prepared to self heal. Is that why I'm avoiding you? If until I know the answer, you're not accessing me. Until I know the why, I'm not going to. No. I will no longer betray myself. I will no longer betray myself. I will no longer betray myself. So important to keep understanding the ways in which you have betrayed yourself. That was one of my things. I would often betray myself through that very process of sensing this person is making me feel some kind of way, not knowing why, and forcing myself to continue interacting, developing a connection, trying to establish some type of loyalty towards them, forcing myself to do this because of the fact that I felt something. I didn't want to believe it. And I chose to gaslight myself into this space of saying, I'm a mean person. I can be mean, but am I a mean person? No. And when I am mean, it's usually fucking necessary. It's usually necessary because that's someone that's taken it too far. And I've allowed them to. Got to always acknowledge your part in that. You got to always acknowledge your part. So, card number 43, Veil of Shadow. Lotus blossoms with deep, rich mud into which she plunges her roots and draws great nourishment. From this mud made of water and earth, growth happens and great beauty is revealed. Your soul lotus thrives through depth of emotion and aliveness of your body into which she can plant herself and unfold as a lotus of light. Woo! Jamie P, you should email if you purchase a session, email us contact@meevolving.com. I don't know how the process works. It's horrible to say, but it's the truth. My husband can tell you though, because he does all the scheduling. So if you email us, he'll let you know. I wish I knew the answer. People are like, how much is this type of session? I don't know. My husband tells me, hey, you got a session in 5 minutes. You should go into your office. Okay. Yeah, that's too much for me to, I don't know any of that stuff. Uh, your soul lotus is blossoming just like a plant that outgrows the pod in which it has been planted and requires more soil to spread its roots and continue growing. Your soul lotus needs some more mud, some more water and earth energy so that it can grow and shine. Ooh, oh, I love that. I'm taking that in as a personal message that I need more water and earth energy. My sun and my moon are water and earth. I am a living ocean, a space where my water kisses the earth. That's where I exist. It's beautiful. That ebb and flow. Could you imagine what life would be like if the ocean came in a straight line? That would be horrendous. Because of the irregular ebbs and flows, the shoreline becomes like living poetry, this graceful movement, a back and forth, with a capacity to be gentle, the capacity to be so strong, powerful, unpredictable, existing in the space of full totality by way of dual potentiality. I love that. In the spiritual worlds, all things serve. Everything, including our darker emotions and parts of our body that we may not think are acceptable. They are actually good nourishment for the soul. The soul craves to love and be in love with all parts of you. Like a passionate divine lover, it wants to hold nothing back and become completely spiritually intimate with all aspects and all parts of you, whether you have thought they were lovable or not. Oh, I love this. I love this. Did you know there are people who exist, and you might know them, you might not yet, but there are people who exist and programmed as part of their natural existence is a capacity to love you, all parts of you. And they don't do this for just anyone. They're programmed by soul to do this and be this specifically for you. I love that. Like a passionate divine lover, it wants to hold nothing back and become completely spiritually intimate with all aspects and all parts of you, whether you have thought they were lovable or not. This can be challenging because it can feel extremely uncomfortable to visit and consciously engage with those aspects of our personality and our bodies that we have yet to really love and accept. Yet this is what you are guided to embrace now. Embrace it, not just hold it, not grasp it and cling to it, not dig your bloody fingernails into it, to embrace it. There are differences in the nuances of the ways in which we hold. To hold something like you own it, it's not the same as embracing it like you cherish it. That there is no ownership needed, you cherish it. You see it for what it is, something that you love, something that you elevate above all others, all things, all thoughts, emotions, plans. I mean, oh my God. This process might be started by taking a class or engaging in a physical practice that honors the shadow part of you. If you have considered yourself an introverted person, it might be to begin to honor the counter side of this, the part that needs community and people in order to thrive. How many of us are introverts? How many of us are introverts and are realizing that part of the message of today is that you need others? You need other people. And that maybe there's one other person that you need the most, that you are afraid, so afraid to come into contact with. What if that person is the doorway to the other side? What if that person is the doorway to the other side of your fear? What if that person is the doorway to the storage room that holds your courage? What if, right? You won't know. No, that's not true. That's a lie. You know. You know. There's a difference between not knowing and knowing but not wanting to believe. You know. You know who this is for you. You know what they mean to you. You're afraid that you're not enough. You will never know how enough you actually are until you can find the courage to override the fear that keeps you absolutely frozen in fear. If you consider yourself a quiet person, you might need to explore how you can find joy through sound, music, and energy, for example. If you consider yourself a passionate person, you could benefit from finding the part of you that's peaceful and content in the moment with things exactly as they are right now. This interplay isn't about saying that you are now who you are now is not enough. Excuse me. This interplay isn't about saying that who you are now is not enough. It's about acknowledging that you are that thing you believe you are not. Ooh, the power of that. You are that thing that you believe you are not. This is powerful. This is powerful. Jamie says, I choose to stay introverted because I feel like it will always end up how it always has. It only ends up the way it always has when you continue to allow the same type of people to be the environment you keep. If your garden continues to have weeds, you will continue to grow more weeds. If you remove all the weeds and plant the things you want, the medicines, the nutrition, the ornamentals that create happiness within you when you see it, and you cultivate that, well, that's what you'll have. It will always end up how it always has because you continue to stay in the same environment that produces the same results. I had to leave everything I knew behind. For years, I was blown around my life. I had to leave everything that I knew behind. Every place and every person that anchored me to the same spaces that always end up how it always has had to be removed. And you know what emerged from that? Who I have always been, but never believed I was. This version of me has always existed. But until I removed the surface layers that kept me from being able to break through, it always ended up the way it always has. Always. Every decision you make is what solidifies the experiences you have. Every decision you make solidifies the experiences you have because they dictate the way you see that experience. The way you see things is about 75%, maybe even 85% of the way you experience it. This interplay isn't about saying that who you are now is not enough. It's about acknowledging that you are that thing you believe you are not and finding a way to live it with consciousness and love. It is about delving into the parts of you that have been hidden in a veil of shadows and are now becoming ready to be revealed and lived as a part of the beautiful and whole being that you are in truth. In particular, this oracle asks you to look at where you can nourish your emotional and physical life with more focus, perhaps through art, creativity, journaling your dreams, creating or engaging in dance or other forms of movement. Your spirit needs it to thrive at this time. That movement can be internal movement. You need to choose to thrive. You need to choose to allow. You need to choose you. Beautiful things are in store, things that are undeniable. Life has a way of giving you everything you need when you need it, not when you want. That includes the lessons that open your understanding and expand your awareness to the degree that's necessary for the part of you and your journey you're currently existing in. Someone's eating dried mangoes. It tastes real good. Sniff the bag for me, please. It's sweet. Those are Filipino mangoes. I can tell by the smell. It's not just regular mangoes. I can taste and smell it. Yeah. Thank you for that treat. That's yummy. Whoever you are eating your mangoes watching me. Next time, could you eat some red mung bean sesame balls? Could you eat some mochi next time? I would love to taste mochi through you. I haven't had mochi in like, I don't know. I don't know. I think since like 2010, 2012, something like that. I think 2012. Haven't had mochi since 2012. I haven't had rice since 2012. This is bullshit. Okay. Nope. We're not going there today. Sometimes I get bitter about my food intolerances. It's okay. Let me deal with my emotions on my own. I will see you guys again very, very soon. Thank you for sharing this space with me. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. I'll see you guys again soon. Bye, everyone.